Hey all. So off-site, I am working at prepping about a tenth of an acre plot to do some spring planting of a perennial forest garden. So fruit trees, berry bushes, perennial vegetables. But it's a large plot, and I'm trying to do this on the cheap or with donated resources. So right now, most of what I'm working with, pretty much all, is cardboard and wood chips. I'm doing a layer of cardboard to suppress weeds, and then a thick layer of wood chips on top of that as mulch, fertilizer, etc. Ideally, I would let those wood chips sit in a mound and break down and compost for 2, if not 3 years, and then put the wood chips on that pile as essentially wood chip compost. It would be really nutritious for the plants. It would fertilize them. It would be awesome. The problem with that, I just don't have time to wait. I want to do that now, and I don't have 2 or 3 years. So I'm trying to put together something that will um, help negate some of the harmful effects of doing fresh wood chips. The main downside of doing fresh wood chips like I'm doing is they start to lock up nitrogen in the soil. Last year I found that if I add a liquid nitrogen to the plants that start to show signs of nitrogen depletion, they pop back right away. And I believe that going into the second year, with some of my wood chips beds that I've been working on here, I doubt that I'll need to add much nitrogen at all. And then by the third year, those wood chips will really be breaking down and actually adding nitrogen back to the soil. So, what I'm trying to do this year is I'm trying to get ahead of the problem. Instead of adding liquid nitrogen on an as need basis, I'm trying to add some extra right now in the winter to help inundate the soil and the wood chips with extra nitrogen, so that way they won't start locking up nitrogen from the plants. So what I'm doing is I have a liquid nitrogen in here, urine, and then I've also decided to add some biochar, just broken down fine powdered charcoal, and I believe that will soak up the nitrogen and then slowly release it over a long period of time, being an extra benefit. And on top of that, if I'm adding the charcoal to soak up good stuff, I also just dumped in a 4-6-2 mix of like phosphorus and nitrogen. So, and other beneficial stuff. And if I find anything else sitting around, I might even dump some food scraps and stuff in here too. I'm gonna let it sit for a week or so. The most important thing is when you're working with your own personal liquid nitrogen is to dilute it quite a bit. You do not want to add that directly to plants. It'll actually burn them essentially. So I'm going to dilute it with probably 20 parts water to 1 part of the liquid nitrogen source. And I'll keep you updated. Hopefully, this means that the plants won't even begin to suffer nitrogen depletion. We'll find out in a couple months.